This just kind of happened. Yeah, you read that right. Six Flags will be removing 15 rides across the chain. That's about one ride per park. That's unheard of for a chain to announce something like that. I personally think this is a good thing, but let me state some facts before I start talking my opinion. The chain stated that they looked at the performance of every ride and have weighed the costs and benefits from each ride. They said they now know which rides need to be redeployed, which rides need to be refurbished, and which rides can be removed entirely. They added that the saved money from these actions will save enough CAPEX resources for a new ride each year, which is really good for them. Today I'll be talking about what we learned in this section of the earnings call, and what that could mean for the chain in each of the parks. I'll also make a prediction for what rides can be removed from each park. We have a lot to get through today, but before we hop into that, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more news videos and Six Flags content coming soon. Now hopefully that you've liked and subscribed. Let's hop into the video. Why is Six Flags doing this, and is it the right choice? Something I want to quickly cover is their reasoning for this. They clearly want to save some cash, and this is a great way to do it. Why not remove some rides that are underperforming and keep maintenance costs high? It just makes a lot of sense. I also feel like there won't be many sad fans either. I doubt that a lot of these rides will be coasters since we haven't heard any announcements from any of the parks. I certainly think it's the right choice because it might even pave the room for more expansion for all the parks. It could also help remove some eyesores from the parks, as we know that Six Flags parks are very prone to these ugly looking rides. There shouldn't be much debate on whether this would be a good decision or not unless some classics get removed, but I doubt that because the rides they will remove will be underperforming attractions. Now let's get to the part you've all been waiting for, which is the predictions. Now for some of the parks there are some no-brainers, but for some parks it'll be much tougher to track down. Some of the parks might get 2 rides removed, and some parks might not get any rides removed. One rule I'll play by is that I won't be doing any kiddie rides because that's no fun, it would make for a boring video. The other thing is, I don't really know the ridership stats for each ride, so I'll just make an educated guess based on the information I can dig up. I might lay out a few options for each park, but anyways, let's start at the top of the chain with Six Flags Magic Mountain. Six Flags Magic Mountain, Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth. Magic Mountain's UFO is the first ride I'm predicting that will hit the scrapyard. Magic Mountain was fairly tricky to decide as they don't have very many good candidates for this list. I thought this ride made sense because the UFO rides are slowly starting to go away. I'm guessing that these Huss rides don't look too pretty on the maintenance bill. That's the main reason you'll see a lot of Huss rides on this list. Also, this ride is a weaker flat ride in a park where their flat ride collection is improving fast. This could be a prime spot for a state-of-the-art endeavor. Six Flags Great Adventure, Twister, or Buccaneer. Great Adventure has 2 prime candidates for removal, one of them being Twister, the Huss Topson. My reasoning for this one is this ride almost never has a line, and it probably has a high maintenance cost. It's hard to keep these older rides from the funk manufacturers running good. It has poor ridership from what I've seen, which could be the deciding factor in its removal. The other one is Buccaneer, which is a pirate ship. These pirate ships are fairly outdated, and they seem to get tougher and tougher to keep around each year. I can definitely see this ride go as well. Six Flags Great America, Revolution. Next up on our list is another thrilling flat ride. Revolution is a prime suspect to be removed due to its similarity to a giant Discovery. I've heard this ride doesn't get great ridership, so it makes sense why it could be replaced by a more modern version of itself. Great America is lacking in thrilling flat rides, this would be a worthy addition. I could also see a ride like the go-karts getting a shot at being removed as well, but I'm not really going to count it because this ride is an upcharge. Six Flags Fiesta Texas, Pandemonium. This park is very tricky to find a ride for. I went with Pandemonium because it's in a prime spot for expansion, and there's not too much of a good reason to have this coaster. I don't believe this ride will be removed this year, but I think it will eventually be removed at some point in the near future for a custom coaster. Six Flags Over Texas, La Vibora. This is another park where I had a hard time finding a good ride to remove. La Vibora is a bobsled coaster, so that means its days are likely numbered. It's already over 30 years old, and these coasters are tough to maintain. I don't think it'll get removed in the immediate future, but doesn't have much time left. So make sure to get your rides in on this coaster. If you're from Texas, make sure to let me know what other rides are at these parks are primed to get removed. Six Flags Over Georgia, Thunder River. Over Georgia just removed a water ride called Splashwater Falls. I believe they will remove this old log flume as well because the park just teased another water ride edition, and they are trying to build up their water park as well, and these log flumes are slowly being dismantled around the country, and this one is very old. This is a classic, but all rides have a lifespan. This one might not get removed immediately, but we'll have to see. Six Flags New England, Tomahawk or Goliath? Six Flags New England is a little bit trickier because this park could remove a kiddie ride, but since we can't do those, I thought both of these rides could fit the bill. Tomahawk is sort of useless because the park already has a bigger and better frisbee, and I doubt that the ridership for this ride is great because that section of the park is not too easy to come by. The other one is Goliath, which is the park's giant inverted boomerang. This coaster is known for its downtime and poor ride experience, so the cost may outweigh the benefits for this ride. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, The Flash, Vertical Velocity. The next ride on our list of rides in the chopping block is another one that is plagued with downtime. I couldn't even find this coaster on the park's website, which could be an indicator of things to come. Who knows what's up with these impulse coasters? There's a lot of rides at this park that can be removed as well, but we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out when they're able to reopen. Six Flags Mexico, Boomerang. I'm predicting that the first ever Boomerang will get removed in the near future for Six Flags Mexico. Some might jokingly say that the ride has quote-unquote historical value, but I think this would make sense for this Boomerang to get removed. There's no obvious choice because there's a lot of rides that are new at this park, but I think this coaster is the most likely candidate. However, I wouldn't be too surprised if they end up not removing anything at all. Six Flags St. Louis, Log Flume. This is another 70s log flume that is outdated and probably will be removed like the Over Georgia one because of rising maintenance costs for these old rides and demand for water rides is decreasing, and it'll be tough to see these rides staying around that much longer. Six Flags America, the Penguins Blizzard River. Another water ride makes its way onto this list. I think that Penguins Blizzard River is a prime candidate for removal because the one at Six Flags New England was recently removed, and the water rides in general don't have much of a future in the industry. I think that the rides could sit on a potential spot of a 4D free spin, which ended up replacing the one at Six Flags New England, so it would make a lot of sense for something like this to happen. Six Flags Darien Lake, Silver Bullet. This one was an easy choice for me. Darien Lake has a lot of good candidates for removals, which could be a topic for a future video. This enterprise from the Fun Country era is the perfect candidate for a Six Flags budget cut removal. This ride requires a high amount of maintenance year in and year out, and it just had a malfunction. I heard this could be possibly an operator error, but it looks bad regardless, and it almost never seemed to draw a line. Case closed. Give us a new endeavor. Also, Pirates get removed very soon as well. It's been closed for a few years now, and there's no sign of it reopening anytime soon. Laurent Condor. These husk condors are becoming a rarity in the industry, which is very unfortunate. These require a lot of maintenance, and I don't think Six Flags will be willing to keep this one going for much longer. I hope they do keep some condors around, especially since I've yet to ride one. Frontier City, Prairie Schooner. Frontier City was another tough one to narrow down. There isn't much of this park that is primed for immediate removal. I sided with the pirate ship because these things aren't overly popular and they don't run that well at some parks. Nothing too obvious for removal here, so who knows what they might remove. Great Escape, Alpine Bobsleds. This coaster is notorious for its downtime. When I was at the park, it was closed for half the day because it rained the day before. This coaster is rarely open and it's probably costly for the park to maintain. This coaster is primarily removed in the next couple of years due to the high maintenance costs and constant downtime. So that's what's going on with Six Flags. I just gave a lot of predictions in this video, so feel free to voice your opinion in the comments below. Just keep in mind that for most of these parks, I don't have a crazy amount of knowledge, so don't beat me up too hard in the comments. I'd also like to hear your thoughts on the situation in general. Make sure to drop a comment below, one way or another. Make sure to drop a like on this video to help support the channel as well. I also appreciate a sub as well, as every sub means a lot to me and helps encourage even more content for the channel. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.